Welcome to Leaders Connect 360's episode LC0182. Leaders Connect 360 is a CSR initiative by Bija Training and organized by the Mask Leadership. I'm Rashmi Malapur, founder of Research Eye, content creators and storytellers. Leaders Connect 360 is started with the specific objective of inviting 10,000 plus leaders and create a million leaders. It is an online hub where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we learn from the top management leaders on Zoom Live, and once in a quarter in each city we have an offline networking meet to network, support and grow with the leaders. That's when we call it Leaders Create More Leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our guest, Mr. Arun, Vice President and CHRO, Ideastion Technology Solutions, and panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu, NLP Life Coach and founder, ALisWELL, on the topic Unwavering Transparency. Before you're unmuted, let me share that this episode LC0182 is being recorded. First-time visitors may click on the WhatsApp, FB, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get updated by joining us in creating more leaders. All in the house are requested to turn on your videos, which will help in making the episode highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with our guest and panel discussion leader? Then share a thumbs up and a smiley emoji in the chat box. Thank you. Before the introduction of the guest, let me also introduce Ms. Bhavni, corporate trainer and coach, who will interact with our guest along with the panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu. I shall welcome you all. Over to you, Ms. Bhavni.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for the beautiful introduction of Leaders Connect next episode. Thank you. You've been a very darling supporter of Leaders Connect. So, heartful thank you to you. So,
Thank
we
you,
will
Bhavni.
excitement of our interaction at the end of the episode. Let's begin with the episode by welcoming our guest today. Good evening, Arun. How are you?
Good evening, Bhavni. I'm fine. It's a pleasure to be on this session today. Thank you for
Pleasure
inviting
is
me.
all. Lovely. How was your day today, sir?
It has been a little hectic, but I wanted to make sure that I'm part of this session without any hindrances. So it's a good day to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, if you're based out of Chennai, I will quickly brief you on you to be our guest for the Rocket Goals as well, sir. So, we'll be looking forward to meet you in person as well. So, with understanding of that, we can proceed to the next introduction level of yours. I will first allow Mr. Arun to have a video of introduction of yours and our panel discussion leader, Ms. Alagu, and then we could continue with our talking. Is that okay, sir?
Sure. Yeah.
Great, lovely. Yes, Arun. Thank you, Arun, for the beautiful brief video of yours to share the introduction of our guest and of our panel discussion. So, namaste and happy evening to one and all present for Leaders Connect in this room. I request all of you to please kindly open your videos, sorry, so that we can have the best of your interaction with our guest and with our panel discussion leader as well. It'll be a great interaction as it talks. The topic says unwavering transparency. So, I believe the transparency can begin at least with having a view of one on one that will help all of us to have a beautiful interaction with our guest. And our guest is not going to feel the grids being there, and Leaders Connect is not a sloppy place for him to be. So that will be really helpful. So thank you, Shanmuga and Kanika and Gayatri for lending your videos on. Thank you so much. So without ado, hi Alagu, I missed on sharing a hi with you as well. Hi, how are you
Hi.
doing?
Good. How was Diwali?
Beautiful, lovely. It was all lights everywhere. So I'm sharing the same light of joy with all of us today. And we're having an amazing guest today. Arul, if you help me mute Gaurav for a change. Great, thank you. We're having an amazing guest with us today who's going to be talking about transparency and unwavering. Both are very strong things and a very strong backbone to see that how transparent we can be and how we cannot be unwavered by that. So I'm sure holding a big firm and a big place of leadership platform, it is a challenge to hold on to those ethics and morals and values and all of that. So we're going to be getting more insights of that on the through of your questions and on the way Arun is going to help us. So today there's going to be a little difficulty in the name actually because Arun and Arul, the
Arul.
slip is very close. The N and L is playing a very tricky role here. So I would want to tell Arul, but it'll come out Arun. So don't mind, kindly excuse of the same. So
Sure.
great, lovely having you all here today. So without taking so much of your time, Alagu, I'm leaving the platform for you to take the entire show ahead with having a question. So thank you, Alagu.
Thank you, Bhavni. Thank you, Arun. Most welcome, Mr. Arun. In spite of your busy schedule, you've accepted to be here. Thanks for that. And so let's, since we have very little time, let's go ahead with the session. So when we speak about leadership, confidentiality is very important when we speak about leadership because they are on the top level. So when that is there, how can leaders foster a culture, of transparency without compromising the confidentiality?
See, in one of the organizations that have worked, we wanted to build transparency for simple reasons that our employee engagement score and the value proposition score were not up to the expected levels. So while looking at various factors, we came up with a couple of thoughts. One was to build transparency with all our employees, and number two, how does as a leader, we enable trust and transparency within our employees? So when we started discussing on these topics, we said we will bring transparency as one of our values, core values in the organization's culture, and we will start doing talk the walk or walk the talk from the leaders to the bottom level employees, so that the employees get to understand the reason behind why we are transparent and how those transparencies help employees to get retained within the organization, grow, and then become a high potential employee. So keeping that in mind, we said this has to be part of the organization value, and we should help employees to also start displaying this particular organization value and also create spark within amongst other employees. Because when we as a HR, we all know that we face few challenges when we bring in certain change or when we bring in certain value stream to the employee side. So what we did was, on the second line, we said employees who start displaying the organization values will be part of the growing high potential leadership list. And also we told them that it will start value to their performance management scoring. So we had a performance metric score where their performance, their potential, and the behavior were also taken into consideration when an employee was assessed on their performance metrics, and also that added value for their promotions. So when these factors came into picture, employees started understanding the importance that we were trying to build, and they were also showing a lot of transparency in terms of if they had a challenge with their managers, they voiced out those challenges to the HR, their business partners, and to their managers directly, so that they voice it out, discuss it, sort it out, and then they move on from there. So prior to that, we had employees who leave the organization. They didn't want to share the issue because they felt there was no efforts that were taken by the business, even though they were sharing their concerns. But after they came to know that their problems were solved by the managers themselves, and certain problems were escalated, and the managers were okay at over a point of time to have those escalations to be addressed by getting those problems resolved, we were starting to build more transparency within the employee system, and this helped the team to develop, grow, and we were able to bring in more trust within the employees.
So when you spoke about that employees leaving, so what was the initial obstacles that you faced while implementing these transparency practices within the organization?
See, we had to come up front because when we were expecting transparency, we were supposed to build that from the leadership side. So we said we will start from our side. So it all began with the employees' performance metrics. So instead of posting it a notice board, we used to build a system. We had a system which showcased the list of employees along with their performance metrics, along with the scores on their behavioral part. We did not showcase their performance metrics due to various reasons, but on the behavioral front, we said we will start showcasing it, so that that could be definitely somewhere we would see or start to see a difference. That is number one step we took. And from the employer side, we said we would start displaying the minutes of meeting that we had with the employees in terms of one-on-one discussions as well as the group discussions that we had, because certain one-on-one discussions goes blind without even going to the leadership's attention or to even the manager's attention when someone raises a concern or someone raising a suggestion, even for that matter. So on those areas, we started displaying the employees' name, their concern or their suggestion that they had proposed, and what was the action that we took to arrest the problem or to implement the suggestion. So we named that initiative as "You Said and We Did." So a
Okay.
lot of employees came up front with a lot of suggestions, and this happened in one of the BPOs that I worked, because mostly in BPOs people don't prefer providing suggestions because they feel that it's a monotonous night shift or a day shift work, and they only tend to do the work that they are expected to do. So we had to break that monotony. We included employees on certain forums. When a certain decision has to be taken where it impacted the employee's shift or employee's work style, we included few employees within the team, few seniors from the team, so that they can also contribute and understand why certain decisions were made. So these were some of the steps where we initially took to build that transparency within the employees, and slowly we were able to build the trust, and in turn the employees also started reciprocating from their side.
Nice. So when you did that, did few employees object to it when their metrics were displayed on the board? Did you face that also?
Yes, we had few attritions because few employees score were not up to the level. We didn't want to mark it green, amber, or red. We only wanted to rate it 1 to 5. And when employees saw their names against 3, 2, or 1, they were
Mm.
little not happy, and they felt that being a senior employee or a junior employee, the others may not be comfortable to work along with them. A couple of things that we did to ensure employees understood that clearly was to talk to employees and told them that there are a lot of avenues where they can be transparent, support employees also to be more transparent as a senior employee. And when a new employee came in, we started telling them what the culture is all about and how they should appreciate escalating a grievance, and what should they do in terms of getting those grievances solved. So this took some time, but however, we were able to manage it, and we were able to address it to the level of what the organization intended to do in terms of the employee value proposition score.
Awesome. So, when we say transparency, it also builds trust within the organization. That's the main idea, right? So being transparent. So the employees also trust the leaders, and leaders also trust the employees. So, in what way does this enhance the trust factor within the team or within the organization?
See, mostly when it comes to trust and transparency, employees are little worried when it comes to their performance management and when it comes to promotion. Generally, we tend to hear that the employee favored his manager or the employee was close to the HR or to the leaders, and that was some of the few reasons why he or she was promoted. So, what we did to arrest these points were one, when an employee was promoted, we already started publishing the employee's behavioral and other aspects as a score. Number two, what we did was we did a 360-degree feedback from the respective team, from the peer managers, as well as from the peer leaders. So this also made one factor where the employees were not able to point hands at the HR or the manager on the favoritism. On the third factor, we gave the newly promoted manager a 3-month probationary period to build his role on the most effective part. So, most of the organizations, when they promote employees, we promote employees during appraisal time and we don't handhold the employees to be more effective on the role. And we expect only the manager to handhold employees on certain areas. So, what we did was we gave the employee a 3-month 3-month probation period where the respective supervisor, along with the HR business partner, sat with the employee, came up with an action plan for 45 days. So, this 45-day action plan was transparent where we shared the scores with the fellow managers in the respective teams. We were not able to showcase this to the team members, but we showcased this to the fellow
Yes.
managers, the peer managers. So this helped the other managers also to pitch in and support a particular manager when someone was not really doing well or not able to meet the expectations as per the pace required for them to showcase. So this became a collaborative approach. So earlier it was more of a race where the manager felt that he or she has to win the race, build their teams, and start providing better scores for their team. But this collaborative approach helped not only the new member to get promoted, but also the other peer managers to collaborate, share their learning, share their instances. They also shared their challenges. In one way, what we did was we had come up with a solution called a team consult, where during this collaborative approaches, one of the team manager, if they had a concern or if they were not able to solve a business case, they brought in on a particular weekday with all the fellow managers and the leaders called this initiative was called team consult, where they showcase what the challenges were and what did they do to overcome challenges but yet not able to overcome that. The
So
fellow
kind of
manager.
brainstorm within a
Exactly.
team. Okay.
Exactly. Usually, what happens is we all know that when someone had a problem, we all try to bring the person down. We don't step into their shoes to support them. But here we wanted to build the collaborative approach. So the fellow managers they came up with solutions, and most of the cases those solutions help the manager to overcome that. So we came up with reward and recognition for those team consult decisions. And when it started becoming a practice, we said it again became a culture of the organization. And we started rewarding people when it created a lot of business cases to get resolved.
Awesome. So, if I understand it right, the whole transparency practice created a positive culture within the organization. It helped to
Absolutely.
create awesome. So, when leaders do decision making during decision making, how can they balance the transparency with accountability?
Yes. See, most of the cases we don't tend to involve employees where it impacts their livelihood or their role more on the BPO or on the industry front, the factories front. In factories, when I worked, it was very clear that when I had to decide something, I had to call the union or the 5-member committee that I had, also discuss with them, showcase, understand how it impacts, what needs to be done, and then it was easy for us to decide on certain areas where we had an upper hand, and where cases where they wanted certain things, we took their permission, and we were able to decide on certain cases. But on the IT and other areas where it all depends on the HR and on the leaders to decide, over a period of time, we started involving senior employees from the team who were in line or due for their promotion to become a team lead or a team manager or a project lead. So these people became representatives of the team, and they were able to understand why certain decisions are made. And when certain decisions are made, these decisions were not voiced out on the last minute. We gave employees at least 1 week to 1 day time, because certain decisions we were able to take in 1 week in advance, and we were able to inform the employees up ahead. And decisions where we had to take only a 24-hour time period, we reached out to employees, we told them. This happens through various forums to the employees, and we also had certain FAQs from the employees so that they understood why those decisions are made. Some cases it was less than 24 hours. We just had to write an email, send a WhatsApp message, or even send out a video to employees saying these are the reasons why we had to decide, and this is the decision that people have to adhere to. Uh, One successful factor that we saw was communication. We not just communicated that these decisions are taken, we were able to showcase why these decisions were taken and how it impacts the business on the whole, and how it can be managed by the leaders and the employees. So these instances helped us showcase our transparency to a certain level, and also make employees understand to an accepted level.
Were there any cases that you changed the decision? Like, let's say you had enough time for the to take the decision and you voiced it out. So, were there any cases where after brainstorming or after the employees come back, did you change the decision? Did
Uh, yes, there were few instances where we had to go back, tell why employees feel differently, and what should be done. Those cases we were able to take it up. Yes, one or two cases we went back to the employees, told them it cannot be done, and we voice it out so clearly why it cannot be done. At the same time, when we do change, we also tell why it has been done on a overall global picture. The bigger picture usually we tend to share with the employees so that they clearly understand why and how certain decisions are made. When certain employees understand why it is not done, they don't come back the second time asking us or trying to escalate it. When it happens, yes, they feel freely, and they feel proud, and they go back, talk to the employees. They also post it in LinkedIn or in intranet, showcasing why it has been done. Sometimes when we do the rewards and recognitions, we give time for employees to voice out certain values that they felt it was really helpful. On those occasions, employees come out, they thank leadership and the HR on certain cases where we had changed our decisions. This drives us, and this makes us to rethink our decision, even though we feel sometimes once decision taken cannot be relooked. We take it again to see why it cannot be relooked, and then we try to relook on
like the Vijay dialogue where you decide and you don't go back?
it.
Okay. So nice. So the transparency helps, right? Even for the benefit of the overall benefit of the organization. And the
Exactly.
employees come back with their ideas.
See, end of the day, they are our brand ambassadors. I tell all my employees one thing, that we are not going to be with this organization till we retire. Gone are those days where we talk about loyalty. It is no
Mm.
more loyalty, because we pay and we expect our employees to deliver an accepted level of performance. It is more about why I should work and what is it in for me to be with the organization and grow. And we create win-win situations, because it is not just the pay. How do I create more win-win situations for the employee? How do I make him learn? How do I make him grow? What is it the employee can offer more? What are the training programs that they could do personally or through our learning and development initiatives, and what could they add value to the business? And when they leave the organization, it is okay for me, to allow them to join another organization, because they may have a different growth plan for them. And even when they go, they tend to be a brand ambassador for the organization that they've worked for. That is something that I'm very keen about, building teams and building culture within the organization.
Awesome. So when we talk about transparency, like you would have definitely faced conflicts and feedback. So what is the role of transparency when we have all this conflicts among employees?
See, it is like a 50-50 part for me. When I say transparency, even on the government data, there are certain data which we cannot get through the act, and there are certain data which can be accessed easily through a request. So the right to know act, as how it works, we also build transparency within the organization, and we limit the details for employees till what level an employee will have access to data, and to what level they can approach HR or the leadership team to understand on certain data. This line is a very thin line, because certain times when it comes to grievance, I may have to voice out what the grievance was. I might have to post a circular saying these are the grievances that I've had and how those grievances were resolved. On the suggestion front, again, yes, I had to do that. But when it comes to critical cases like POSH and other complaints that come in, I may not be able to post it out
Correct.
on a notice board. I would be able to only handle it confidentially, tell employees how it is done. I would be able to call the complainant and the complaining employee to handle that effectively, and then close the grievance, or handle the grievance more effectively there. Again, on the performance front, yes, even though I said it was transparent, certain areas I may have to keep it on a non-transparent level. I may have to handle it confidentially. For example, the percentage of increase that I get,
Mm-hmm.
we removed the bell curve metric. So uh, the business has the liberty to give the highest value to any employee that they feel. But again, they know what is the budget they have and how it has to be handled. There were no escalations to the HR over a period of time, but it took us some time, because initially people came out saying someone has got more increase than the other. We said it is all dependent on the manager's purview, and we do not want to handle that. So we came up with a factor called a team health study, where the employees started rating the supervisor and the manager on their behavior and on certain aspects that involve the leaders to manage their teams more effectively. And if their score is below 85%, there were a lot of interventions involved along with the business partners to build the score to 85 and above. And when we started doing this biannually, the respective leader has to show some kind of an improvement on their scores. It cannot go below the last year's score, and it cannot be stagnant. They have to build their scores. If last year was 85, this year it has to be at least 86 or 87. So, along with the HR business partners, we were able to intervene with the leaders, build that transparency, trust, collaboration, the behavior within the team, and we started showcasing a lot of areas. On the factors where they have to be a little confidential, those were
Mm-hmm.
handled confidentially only to employees one on one, and some cases along with the HR's presence, so that the employees also understood why it is handled confidentially. So, with this, it took time, but yes, we were able to make it impact.
So drawing the line is very important when it comes to maintaining the confidentiality as well as being transparent.
Absolutely. As we all know, yes, it is a very thin line, and employees do not understand how that thin line operates.
And when you spoke about employees scoring the managers or the team leaders, how genuine were the scores? How did you find the genuinity on the scoring?
See, it was all done online. So the employee has to log in with their employee credentials and then provide the scores. So we had a lot of instances where employees scored high, but the attrition of the team was low. I mean,
Oh,
it was also high. Sorry. So the scores were high, the attrition was high. The scores were high. Sometimes the performance or the quality was not to the accepted level. So once the scores are high or low, what we decided was we go and do a skip level meeting with the employee. So employees didn't open up. So what we did was we entered the room, we gave them a pen and paper. We told them, do not write your names. You write your problems. We will come back with the solutions. Employees started voicing out. Then employees started providing the actual score. They understood it's not going to impact their job, impact their relationship with the supervisor or their promotion, and they started voicing out the actual scores. It took time. We were able to build that. employees, and now they feel why and how important it is for them to be open and provide certain impacts. Over a period of time, the supervisor had a lot of inputs about the employee, saying this employee took uninformed leave 6 months ago, but now the employees are coming up to me. They plan their leave at least 1 week in advance, except for sick leaves. So they plan their travel. And certain cases, the supervisors they act proactively to obtain the leave details of employees when there are festivities like Diwali or Pongal or Ramzan or be it Christmas. So these things make the employees to voice out, and we talk to the business. We go to our clients, tell them we're not going to work for 2 days or 3 days. We will come back. We will take sure those deliverables are done within the timelines. So these are the kind of impact that we were able to create to employees, even when it came to employees coming up and applying for leave.
Also gives a work-life balance, right? Let's employee live life.
Yes, because you see, when I started my career, my fellow colleague, they would apply leave 1 day in advance or call, tell me saying that they are unwell today and their work needs to be completed. I have 100% that I have to deliver today, and I also take care of their deliverables, and so I extend my work schedule for the day. So over a period of time, when I started understanding how it is impacting my work-life balance, we started talking to the team leaders and team members, telling them how their unauthorized or uninformed leave creates an unhealthy work-life balance within the team. Because working in a BPO, every employee has a target, and when the target is not met, the target is being equally divided to other employees who are on the team, and they have to ensure that their
Push hard.
absolutely. And when we push certain cases, the quality of their output goes down. We are all
Definitely.
humans. End of the day, it becomes difficult for us to stretch ourselves beyond a particular time and then deliver to an accepted level. So those things get impacted. So we had to bring in certain additional headcount to the business. The business started worrying, saying, "You're bringing down my profitability. You're
Mm.
bringing down or increasing the absenteeism by adding more bench numbers." And then one side we had revenue as an issue, the other side we had this. So we went spoke to the employees, guys, plan your leaves unless until it is a sick leave. So we started telling them how it created a bad impact within the team. And when employees started realizing that they were not able to take a time off because someone took it, they realized how it impacts the other employees when they take an uninformed leave. So it became a mirror to the employees, and it was easy for us to talk to them and then create an impact to them.
Awesome stuff. So, it really transparency really means a lot when it comes to building trust within the organization, even for the growth of the organization. Such. Uh, had a wonderful discussion with you, and over to you, Bhavni, if you have any questions.
Definitely. Thank you, Alagu. Thank you for those lovely questions that you have proposed to Arun. I now understand, sir, when you said that you are having a hectic day, I can definitely understand if you're having so much of your thought process working towards seeing your employees being uh, well understood, having the transparency. And if you're holding on to such big flags of unwavering transparency, then I'm sure you must have been quite honest with a lot of things happening in your company as well. So I can understand the turnover shift and all those things. So can I quickly have a rapid fire round with you, sir? I don't have a coffee right now, but I can definitely give you the mood of the coffee that can help us have a rapid fire to know a little more about you. As you're saying transparency, sir, I would like to know some more transparent form of answers from you as well. Can we do
Definitely.
that, sir? I'll quickly
Sure.
ask 5 questions. Is that okay with you, sir?
Sure. Yeah.
But the condition is you can't take time to think. You just need to give an answer that comes to the spark of your mind. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So, my first question, wife. That's a big silence, sir. I told you
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
I'm sorry. The
no
first
No,
question
you're
is
interruption.
not
why.
audible, Bhavni.
No, I just heard it as why.
Why? Okay, the question is why.
Wife. My wife
Yes.
is into talent transformation. She heads a company for the talent transformation initiatives. She started a career with Wipro Technologies, and
Hmm.
now she heads this division as a director. I
Lovely.
have, yeah.
Great. So she's a very big support for you, sir. That's lovely. So we'll keep only one word, sir. Okay. So when I say wife, only one word. Okay.
Okay.
Right? Right? Okay, great. But I'm proud, sir, that wives are always a lengthy process of answering. So I can definitely have
No,
given a
no,
detailed.
I mean, before starting this session, you also mentioned that we are recording the entire session. So when I play this session to her, I need to ensure things are smoothly after she watches it.
Lovely. I'm so happy to know that we've been in understanding of transparent, unwavered understanding of life.
In fact, when you asked me about wife and you mentioned one word, I would have said one wife. That could have been an acceptable answer as well.
Lovely, sir. Great. So my next question, leader.
Mr. Guruvayurappan,
Lovely. So Arun.
nice to work with.
Lovely. I'm ready to put myself as an employee there, sir. Thank you for letting me know that as an open
Thank
space.
you. It's an honor.
Lovely. Next question is cloud.
Sorry?
Cloud.
Cloud.
Yes, cloud.
Cloud. Yeah, I like to fly.
Lovely. Challenges.
I solve them.
White.
Color of my heart.
Lovely. So it's always peaceful, sir. Lovely, sir. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you, sir. I'm so glad for your transparency that you shared with us today.
Thank you, Bhavani.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you so much. Thank you. So moving on to the next segment, allowing Uma to take up the chance of asking a quiz on basis of the panel discussion and the guest of questions that we had between the two of you. To understand that, I'm leaving the place for Uma to ask me the question. Before that, the prize, the winner for this quiz is going to be getting a book of Silence Mourner by Rashmi. So the winner can look forward for an amazing book as a prize token, which will be taken care by Arun. Yes, Uma, you can ask away your question.
Thank you, Bhavani, for this opportunity. Arun sir, how are you? Hope you
I'm
remember.
good, Uma. Hope all is well.
Yeah, everything is fine, and it was a mind-blowing session. We thoroughly enjoyed your session. Practicing transparency is the biggest challenge in today's organization because we can't be transparent on each and everything. And you did it with utmost care, and it was a fruitful experience for all of us to listen to you of your journey of bringing transparency in the organization. So let me quickly get into today's question. What is that one particular topic that the speaker emphasized as he displayed on the notice board as a part of building transparency in the organization? It is a two-letter word. Only the exact match will get the prize today. Not any guesses, only the exact match. It is also given in the chat box for clarity. Sukumar and Ajish, yeah, a little close, but not exact. You can answer in chat box, please. The fastest fingers first. No, Shanmuga, no, it's not the right answer. It was in the initial stages of the conversation. No. No, and when Bhavini, I request to hold the book for next week. Nobody is because it just increases their attention level. You can't give away the book just because somebody is close by. So it's my personal request to you. Okay.
Can I?
No,
Yes.
since you are the person who interacted, maybe next time you'll have a chance.
No, since nobody answered, I'll answer. I don't want the book.
Yeah, better. Try your luck, Miss Alagu.
You said we did?
Once again, I'll read this question. What is that one particular topic that the speaker emphasized as he displayed on the notice board as a part of building transparency in the organization?
Yeah, it was, you said we did this, what the first initially he said.
No.
Yes.
It was a keyword kind of a thing.
Okay.
2 words. She says 2 words. So if you're not getting
It's
anywhere,
a kind of a keyword, just 2 words. But if you are listening with attention, you can get it. It's not so rocket science and all. It's just 2 words, and he keep on mentioning about it regularly. That's why I chose this question. So we'll close it off. Let me
Behavioral score, not behavioral score.
No. She said no. She said no initially itself. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it is close to that one, then we can choose to give to that person. It's your call, Uma.
Uh, Bhavini, I prefer reserving the book because nobody was close enough. I'll
Okay.
reveal the answer now. Hope we had all the answers. So it is
Yes.
performance metrics.
Performance matrix. Lovely. Lovely. Great. Nice.
Yeah, that is the one. That is the key thing he mentioned because
Mhm.
performance metrics based on behavior. So people started voting performance metrics, and it was anonymous as well. But when they came to know about it, the retention was also improving. That was the key point he shared, which is one of the key takeaways for anyone in HR over here. Thank you, Arun
Lovely.
sir, for this wonderful session joining us today. Have a great day
Thank
ahead.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thank
Uma.
Bhavani.
you.
Thank you, Bhavani. Thank you,
Thank
Arul,
you,
and
Uma.
thank you, Alagu. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you. I look forward to meet this team again. Thank you all.
Great.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
you
Uma.
too.
Thank you
Bye.
for that lovely question and understanding about the same. If we can take some more time of our own, we would like to keep the floor open for people who have any questions. They could ask directly to Arun with respect to understanding. If you want to have doubts that you want to share or discuss or know more from Arun, the floor is open to all my participants to ask away questions to our guest today. Anybody? Yes, Uma.
Arun sir, I would like to ask one question. It is like now modern kind of organization don't choose to be much transparent because it is strategic things. Like how do you draw that line? Like this is going to be transparent and this is not going to be transparent. That is my first question. And my second question is transparency also includes employees involving themselves in decision making because transparent organization always encourage people involvement in decision making. Maybe I may be right or wrong, but it is my thought. And in that case we can see like people who are always in limelight and who will always be showcasing themselves, whether the management choose to involve such people or they always look for someone who's already dedicated at work. What is your takeaway on this?
Okay, so three questions, Uma. So let me go one by one.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
so
Thank you
the
so
first,
much for accepting my question, sir.
absolutely. On For the question number one on drawing a line between what is transparent and what is confidential, let me give you an example. Um, so it is only in recent times we see a lot of companies talking about wellness, health of employees, and so on. So I'm going to talk about things that happened in 2017 or 2016. Okay. So the company that I worked for, we wanted to improve the employees' performance metrics. Okay. So we went back, we spoke to the employees. They said they had a lot of concerns on health and so many factors. So two things we did. One, we associated ourselves with a company which where they were able to provide counseling services. And number two, we created an internal system. So with the internal system, what we did was whenever the employee logged in for their day, so they had three options popped up. How well are you for the day? Happy, sad, neutral. How well things are at home? Happy, sad, neutral. How well are you in alignment with your manager? Happy, sad, neutral. So any of these responses for the day is either neutral or sad.
Right.
HRBP will go and meet the employee immediately to understand what the concern is, talk to the manager, resolve. So these scores also played a vital importance in retaining employee, ensuring they were able to support the business and also perform to their expected levels, the employees' expected levels.
Right.
So this data was not kept confidential. We started publishing this data on a weekly basis. On the counseling front, where we are associated with one of the leading counseling agencies in Chennai, in India, what we did was that was that was handled confidentially. So in the same wellness program, we told employees what will be published and what is the data that will be kept confidential.
Mm.
Right? It came under one umbrella of one business perspective, but a part of it was reported to all employees and a part of it was kept confidential. I think this answers your question. And number two is on the leadership bringing in transparency, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
On the leadership area, you see, most of the time what happens is we tell employees not to eat on the floor, we ask them to use the pantry. Most of the cases, being a leader myself, I get onto a lot of meetings, and those meetings happens only during my lunch break or during my dinner break time, or my dinner time gets delayed or my lunch time gets delayed. So my housekeeping staff, they voluntarily bring in the food to my cabin and they ask me to have it inside my cabin. When I
Mm.
come up with the process, or when I tell my employees that it is not a place for them to have food and it is only a pantry or the canteen that they have to go and have food, me doing that is not an acceptable factor. So light food like a non-wet food is acceptable, but when it comes to a lunch or a dinner, I generally don't agree to leaders having that in their cabin and asking
Yeah,
employees to go to the pantry.
right.
So this becoming a practice, employees really understood, be it a leader or be it a manager or an employee, they're all under one roof, and every policy or procedure applies to all employees and not just to a group of employees. And this became part of the culture, and employees were able to see these kind of activities being transparent. And on the decision making, as mentioned earlier, we involved employees, and certain cases we used to decide and then involve employees on stating why it was decided, how it was decided, and what needs to be communicated further. Certain decisions we involve them, certain decisions we communicate to certain people, and then we further communicate to all employees. So employees started looking at the impact of certain decisions, and they started understanding why they were involved, why it was only communication that it was being made. And this is on the third question.
Thank you, Arun sir. It was like lead by example. That is the best takeaway I have learned from you today on leadership. Thank you so much for this wonderful answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uma, for the lovely question. I can sense a smell of Salman Khan in you, sir, because I can see that the commitments that you've given, the hard work that you've put in, the kind of encouragement that you've entrusted in your people for making it a very, very comfortable form of working for them having proper roles and designations and profiles holding their own weightage and importance. I can see that, how well you have been a committed person. So that reminds me of this one dialogue of Salman Khan. This quickly when she mentioned Vijay, I don't see Tamil movies, but I can connect that something she says that एक बार जो मैंने कमिटमेंट कर ली फिर तो मैं अपने आप की भी नहीं सुनता. So that makes me remind that you really take your space of work actually as a worship that is supposed to be followed. So that's an amazing and a brilliant thing that you do that, sir. So it's a beautiful thing, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for that
mean,
lovely answer and
Bhavani, just to add, you see, it's a blessing because my leadership team and my managers were particular about certain factors.
right.
And when these things are part of the leadership and my manager themselves, so I would not be in a position to say no, even though it was my principle to be aligned with the decision to strive and make the organization be more successful. So all credit goes to my managers and leaders who have wanting to build the strong teams, wanting to build HR teams which showcases more people power than just policing policies or policing employees on certain areas. So we want to showcase how impactful HR can be, and with their guidance and with the leadership's insights, we were able to achieve all these successes.
Lovely. So eventually the entire work is of a team basis, how the team has grown and how the team is willing to be that transparent. Me alone being transparent is not going to do
work,
a lot of difference. It is only going to work only when everybody is willing to contribute the same form of transparency in the organization. So I completely understand, sir. And for such kind of a thing, you definitely need to be Salman Khan, sir. So I'm very proud about that. So only then it's unshakable and unwavered, sir. Great, lovely.
Adding
So
to
with
that, Bhavni, I
I'll
just thought
give.
I'll ask Arun. So,
Yes.
did you have to conduct any induction or any training on this, or did it happen as a part of a practice? Like, did you have to introduce this in a very formal way, the transparency practices, or it happened during the course of time?
See, training in the sense, you see, every quarter I would, as a HR, I would want to bring certain process improvements to the work that I do. So my work to stay non-monotonous, I ensure me or my team to bring in process improvements. When certain things are decided by the management or when it is required from the employee side, I go talk to my friends in the industry, understand what they do, how they do. It may be a good practice for them and it may not be a good practice for me or the organization that I work for, but still I try to understand what and how exactly they do, and they bring in certain kind of importance to employees and to the organization. I learn and I continue to learn in that aspect. I talk to my fellow colleagues. I talk to my peers in the industry. I talk to my leaders. There are few mentors for me in India as well as globally. I talk to them, understand what are their perspectives from the Indian front and from the global front to see how certain things can be differently packaged to the organization and employees. While doing that, I also try to do it on a very slow and steady pace. I bring it to one team as a pilot project, see how well it goes there. If there is not much of a response, I go try to tweak in the process and build it more effectively to see if that can be made more responsive. And once I try to see some responsiveness there, I give it to my strategic team members to further implement it on a pilot phase. And once the implementation showcases some kind of a better result, then I try to implement it to the entire organization.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so that's involving a lot of research and a lot of understanding
Yeah.
of it, then executing it. So that's actually I'm not wrong, sir, to call you Salman Khan of the HR industry to work harder enough.
I hope
Great.
Salman Khan doesn't take it otherwise, but happy to do that.
I'm sure that he doesn't have so much of time to take things. Otherwise, he's got enough to take in things for himself with so much of people attacking him from every corner.
Right.
But yes, I meant the personality which he showcases that people can't just track him down with just some hickey dicky or dilly dally works. It's something which is very unwavered thought process which he puts into in order to stabilize anything. So that's what I see in your personality as well, sir. So understanding to that for the great panel discussion that we had, Uma has just refused to give prize to anybody and no books to anybody today.
Very strict quiz master.
Very strict quiz master. So we will choose to keep the quiz booked with ourselves and we will help for the next episode that we can come with. And with understanding to that, Arun, I want to check with you that is it okay? You have some more time with us so that we
Sure.
can proceed to the next segment?
Yes.
Great, lovely. To understanding with that, I won't keep him waiting. He's been smiling with a dazzling, multi-talented, looking forward for participating for today's episode. So I'll give him the chance to become the holders, the summary understanding of what discussion we had today between Alagu and Arun. Yes, Hemang.
Hi, Arun sir. Good evening.
Hi. Hi, Aman.
Thank you so much for sharing all the
He's the
insights and
youngest.
experience.
He's the youngest exciting participant of Lead Connect, sir. So
Wow. So Hemang, I think Bhavani is trying to make us all feel a little old. So I'm glad
Yes.
to be the young crowd. Thank you.
yes, Hemang, go on, dear.
Thank you so much, Arun sir, for sharing all the insights and your experiences in your organizations and letting us know how openness and honesty can build trust amongst the employees and the organizations, and how great leaders can create a fair workplace by listening to employees, supporting teamwork, and handling feedbacks. by creating a win-win situations amongst the employees, and saying had said that keeping the transparency and privacy of the employees also intact. Since today, in these days, people usually wants each other to bring down when they have any problems, and then you bring in a key point which I will be taking up in my life. That is giving them a paper and not mentioning their names, and they would just have to write their problems, and then the HR team and the other members of the management can come in with supportive solutions. And that's how you create a positive environment for the employees to work in. So that's a great point, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Hema.
you. Thank you, Hemang, for that a brief summary shared by you, an understanding of what we had today as a panel in the panel discussion. For the betterment and understanding for most of us today, I would like to share and let all of you know that Leaders Connect 360 is a government registered trust, and we are open to sponsorship and for donations, as we have verticals and different levels of online and offline platforms for most of us, for all the working professionals, trainers, authors, writers, entrepreneurs, young adults to be a part of it. So you're all welcome to our platform, and looking forward to make it a meaningful trust for going forward for all shaping leaders. Great. So understanding with that, I would like to have a vote of thanks shared by Hemang again. So today is Hemang's day. Thank you, Hemang, for taking up the opportunity very sportively. Thank you
It's
so
a
much
pleasure,
for doing that.
actually. Yeah.
Before you do the vote of thanks, I would like to announce the next week guest, who's going to be Mr. Swapnil Tripathi, who's the co-founder and chief revenue officer at V360.ai. So the photo of the same is being shared by Arun. Thank you, Arun. And the topic is going to be employee productivity in the age of digital distribution. That's going to be our next guest. Looking forward for all of you people to join in and take the most and benefit out of it for the panel discussion and the questions that we're going to be having for the next week episode. Thank you, Arul, for that picture. Looking forward to have the vote of thanks from you. And after the segment, we can have a quick vote of thank you video, followed by an open networking with all. I can see a lot of new members today, new faces flashing. So it's going to be an exciting round of having an open networking today. Great. Thank you. Continue, Hemang, with your vote of thanks, please.
Thanks, Bhavini.
Hmm.
Arun sir, I just forgot to mention a point. That was the mood indicator of the employees. That was also a great point, since the how the management can look after the employees' performance after the day and before the day. Like when they enter, they might have a good mood, and when they move out of the office, they might have a bad day. So that's possible. So that's how the management can work on their work-life balance. That's also a great point, sir. I just forgot to mention in the summary. So let me quickly share again the purpose of the community. Leaders Connect 360 is a hybrid model leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we invite a leader who's a master in their field to provide solutions in their real life challenges. Much like valuable experiences, we had Mr. Arun sir today with us. Additionally, every last week of the month, we invite an author to share the knowledge and insights from their book. Do follow our social media platforms to get updates from our weekly episodes and quarterly events. Joining our community is really very simple. Just click on the social media links shared in the chat box. It gives an immense pleasure to thank our guest, Mr. Arun, and our panel discussion leader, Mr. Alagu, and our moderator, Ms. Bhavini ma'am, for investing their valuable time in sharing their experiences and insights with us. Guests and audience, kindly accept our gesture of thanks through a special thank you video. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemang. I heard my name Bhavani for the first time from you. Thank you. It gives an honest understanding of pronouncing my name very correctly. It gives a lot of confidence in me. Thank you.
Can we have the video, Arul? Thank you.
Yes, Arun. Thank you, Arul, for that lovely thank you video. Thank you so much.